Well, good afternoon, kids. I would like to say, I would like to have you here with me. Right now, I'm in Phoenix. It's the middle of February, and today it's going to get up to the mid 80s. I'm out here in a t shirt outside. Well, this story is something that happened about 5 years ago, and it involves Grandma Laura and myself. But first, I want to say, have you ever been in the car and your mom's not looking in the mirror or your dad's not looking in the mirror and they say, sit down, put your seatbelt on? Well, how did they know? Because when you're moving around a little bit, the car wiggles a little bit and they can tell. So this story involves something about that. Thought I'd try a little experiment. So I put my video recorder on the window of the truck and then just bumped the side of the truck. I went around back and then I just jumped on the bumper to see if it would wiggle. We were doing hearing tests. We would go to different industries, test the people's hearing, and I drove a heavy pickup truck, pulled a heavy trailer. On the weekend, we were moving from one job to another. We were working in central Texas, going down toward the southern edge of Texas near Mexico. On the way, we had to get off the interstate and pulled into a little truck stop to get something to eat. Well, right in front of us, there was a big long truck pulling one of these big wind turbine blades. They're like 180 feet long. That's 3 times longer than the biggest trailer I ever pulled. So we went in and we ate lunch. After lunch, we were getting ready to leave, and I thought, I'm going to stop and ask those guys if they happen to bring that wind blade from a factory where we had tested the people's hearing in Little Rock, Arkansas. But I could see they were talking, and so I didn't stop. I'm not sure if that was my idea that came to my head or if God planted it in my head. But anyway, we went outside and I moved my truck and trailer in front of that big wind blade and took a picture of it. We're leaving the parking lot. The parking lot was a little higher than the road, so it came out. The driveway went down and then across 2 lanes of highway to a median. And we were going to go the other way. So I had to cross those first 2 lanes. So I'm waiting right at the edge of the end of the driveway. And I look down the road and I see something way down the road. I can get across, no problem. Well, something I heard, not really out loud, but maybe in my head, it said, speed up. So I put my foot down hard on the gas pedal, went across the road, and Laura looked at me funny because I usually don't drive like that. Because in the trailer, we have stuff on the counters and stuff can bounce around and fall all over the floor and make a mess. So I usually kind of drive gentle. So anyway, I'm sitting there waiting to make my left turn to go the other way down the road, and a couple cars go by. Cars go by. I can see I go to pull out, step on the accelerator, doesn't move. I thought, oh no, maybe the brakes locked up on the trailer. Something happened. So I look in my mirror, in the driver's side mirror, I don't even see a trailer. Oh no, the trailer came off. You know, sometimes you take little pieces of information and you try to sort it out and it doesn't make sense. Oh, the brakes locked up, and then the next second I'm thinking I dropped the trailer. Then I look in my other mirror, the trailer's on its side. I said, Laura, the trailer's on its side. It fell over. I look, we both look. The trailer had been pushed sideways, flipped over on its side. And on the edge of the truck, after we got out, the tongue, or the round part of the trailer that's fastened to the truck, we call it the kingpin, had ripped loose, crushed the side of the box of the trailer. Here's the miracle part. Somebody had come down the road. That little car I saw way down was actually a pickup truck. It's probably going faster than 100 miles an hour, and that's even fast for Texas roads. He puts on his brakes, leaves like 60 feet of tire marks on the pavement, hits the trailer, pushes it sideways, flips it over. The trailer crushes the side of the pickup truck box. You know what we felt? You know what we heard? Laura says she heard one little screech. I didn't hear anything. Now, my ears, they're old, but they still work. What did we feel? Did we feel the truck shake back and forth? Nothing. I don't know what happened. I don't know if God surrounded that truck with angels and held it steady and plugged our ears, or if he took us out of the truck and put us somewhere for a few seconds, maybe a minute. I don't know. Well, kids, again, I want to tell you, when something like that happens, write it down, put it in your journal. And also, that's because sometimes in your own mind, you can start to rationalize things away and say, well, maybe I hit my head and I really didn't remember. I was fortunate enough in that case, as in other times when something strange happened, somebody was with me and they could verify it. And that makes it a whole lot easier to remember it. Because sometimes people will try to tell you, well, maybe when that truck went through you, it looked like it went through your car, it was just a shadow. That's where in the Bible it says, don't cast your pearls among the swines. Be careful who you tell these stories to, because they'll start to discount it and say, no, that really didn't happen. They can play tricks in your mind and steal those things from you. Also, I want to tell you, when I was doing that video, and I started talking about the accident again, and how that young man came down and hit the trailer and acted like he really didn't even care, it didn't even affect him. My voice changed. I realized I'd forgiven him in my head, but I hadn't forgiven him in my heart. And that can eat at you. Unforgiveness can destroy you from the inside out. Stress can cause problems, And it was that same year when I was first diagnosed with cancer. I don't know if that's what caused it or allowed it to happen, but I had to ask God to help me forgive him in my heart. Because otherwise, if you hold unforgiveness against somebody, it'll eat at you. It'll control you to some degree. So I've known people that have chronic illnesses, and they start talking about somebody that hurt them in the past, sometimes 20, 30 years ago. They talk as if it was just yesterday. I don't know if that's the problem with chronic illness, but I've heard people say that it can. My advice is, forgive them. That doesn't mean what they did was right. What they did was still wrong, but it won't control you. So, I want to let you know I miss you, and someday I'll see you.